What's up, guys? Hey. It's your girl D from the Voices Gathering Live podcast show. It's a new week and a new conversation. What's going on? Hello. Hey, guys. How you doing? New week, new show. All right, now we're going to jump into this conversation really quickly because it's a hard one, a heavy one, and a quick one. So get in there, get it done, and get out. That's today's motto, right? So first and foremost, welcome everybody to today's conversation. As you know, I am your host, Diamond, here at Voices Gathering Live Podcast on YouTube. Please do yourself a quick favor. Make sure if you're not subscribed to this channel, that you are subscribing to the channel right now by clicking the subscribe button. Matter of fact, hold on with that because I don't want you to leave this conversation. So pause for a second. Let's get into the conversation. Before you leave, please do me a favor. Make sure you click the subscribe button, the notification bell, and get involved in this topic and all future topics that we're going to be having here on the show. Please pay attention to the information at the bottom here. It's the email address in today's conversation topic. So go to the email, make sure you get on the mailing list. That way, I don't have to send you single invites. You know that this show is aired every week on Mondays at 6 o'clock. And if there's a cancellation, there's always rerun shows that you can watch that you probably haven't seen before. And on top of that, you will be informed of when I am not in the building. That way, you're not missing me live. You can catch up on old shows. Right? That's how you support me reaching my 1,000 subscribers by January 1st, 2023. That is my personal goal. So I can reach that plateau if you support me. Really quickly, I'm going to be having some great guests on the show. Oh my gosh, October is already filling up with some really good heavy hitters, some interesting people I'm so excited to be in a conversation with next month. So please don't miss the conversation. Get involved. It's important. It helps me. House rules, right? So you know how to contact me because I just gave you that information. The email address is right here. Look, we keep it real here. So if you are very sensitive at topics, I'm going to advise you to probably think about this for a quick second. Be like, is this where I need to be? Of course it is. But don't take everything so literal until you ask the question. Ask the question. That is why I keep an open comment section for everyone to get involved. You don't need to just respond to what I'm talking about. You can respond to what people are saying in the chat. If you got guts, and you can stomach a good, healthy conversation when we could agree to disagree, but in the middle, understand why we take the opposite views. Listen, ask me to come onto the show and be a guest on the show here live. You don't need to come into the studio. I can actually invite you right from where you are to the studio. So you are always welcome, right? I already see people already giving me thumbs up. Love it. Use that thumbs up button. If you give the show a thumbs down, post a comment while you're giving the show a thumbs down. We need to know what it is that you didn't understand so we would have an opportunity to address that. And if we don't get a chance to address it and you're giving us a thumbs down, we don't know where there's a disagreement. So please use those buttons wisely. There's always a Q&A portion of this show, and that's in the chat. So get involved, okay? Let's get to it, my people. So my big out, let me shout out some people right now. Hello, Miss Naomi Malave. Love you. Always showing up. Hello, Patricia Fitzgerald. How are you? Welcome back. Torin, my friend, no longer in my head, but in my heart. Guys, look out for that name, Torin Baskerville. This gentleman is coming on the show in October. We are playing with the dates right now. So please, when I tell you you're looking for an interesting conversation, is he going to give it to you? We're going to be talking about a number of things, an array of things. Trust me. And you want to be informed. Let me just say this. Once you meet Torin, you are going to find out how good he is at what he does. So please stay tuned because he's coming on the show next month in October. All right, amongst other guests. Hello, Stephanie. Glad to see you in the building. So you guys got the link I sent to you. But if you go to the mailing list and get involved in that conversation, hello, Rob. Always loving seeing you there. Thank you so much. Always dedicated and most times number one in the chat. So hello, Rob. So really quickly, moving forward in this conversation, get involved on the mailing list. That way that you can always jump right into what's going on. So I want to have a conversation about a topic I think that oftentimes we're not having the right topic in this. If you were paying attention, the question was posed today: who am I and what is my life purpose? Look, there are many people today, and I'm not talking about adolescents, I'm talking about adults, full-fledged adults today have no idea who they are and what their life purpose is. They're walking around aimlessly trying to figure out or not who they are and what were they created for. Right? So let's talk about that. Have you ever been in a position, a moment in time where you was asking yourself, who am I? And what am I here to do? What is my purpose here today? What is my purpose in this life? What am I here to do? I'm here to spark the conversation with you so that you can start figuring out that question. Just take a minute and look at social media. If you pay attention to the climate of social media, you will see that a lot of people in social media land have no idea who they are. I would say many of them are in search of who they are to become, but still never end up at the arrival place of who they are. Why is that? Why do you think that is? I would tell you, I believe it has a lot to do with they haven't tried to find out where they came from. See, you can't know who you are or where you're going until you go back and figure out where you came from and what were you created for. Many people will say, I know who I am, but when you indulge in a very in-depth conversation with them, you realize, well, wait a minute, there's a lot of contradictions here. You're telling me you know who you are, but yet you are not describing who you are. You have no clear picture of who you are. You don't understand what your creation is. Why is that? Have you ever heard birds of a feather flock together? Because I know I have. How can you know who you are if you're always surrounded around negative people who don't know who they are? See, like-minded feed like-minded. If you are in a place with people who are strong-minded, determined, focused, really on a mission of defining and refining who they are, then that's contagious. It's very contagious. The opposite of that is the blind leading the blind. If you're surrounded around people who have no idea who they are, what this journey called life is all about, what ends up happening is you find yourself kind of tunneling in the same area, going nowhere. Oh, I'm not happy. I'm not finding the right mate. I can't figure out what my life goals are. Well, the people you're around aren't doing that either. It's the blind leading the blind. So today's conversation is for us to really ask the question. Have you asked yourself, who am I? Who am I to be? And how do I arrive to where I am destined to stand in the position and take control of? When I'm sitting in therapeutic sessions with individuals in my 9-to-5 job as a counselor, I'm listening to people confused. Excuse me. They are going to drugs, sex. They're going to crime, trying to define who they are. They're seeking a validation in gang memberships, and they're looking for men to fill them sexually and women to please their every ego. They're looking for all these things that one is trying to possess on the inside from external people from the outside. See, you can't find who you are laying on your back. Men or women, you can't. That doesn't define who you are. It's just what you're doing. You can't find who you are by drinking yourself to death because you are unhappy. You can't define who you are by using drugs to get a temporary fulfillment, but yet you still feel empty. Let's think about it. Have you ever had a bad moment in life where you were trying to figure this thing out, and every time you turn around, there was a wall there? You were blocked from just taking the next step. It's almost like being in a box. You know, this side, that side, front and back. Everywhere you turn, there is blockage. I'm sure you can relate, but I want you to think about what I'm about to say for a second. Oftentimes, the blockage, these four walls, are you in your own way. I said it. I absolutely said it. So let me keep it real, right? I said it. It's oftentimes you blocking your own way. Self-doubt, self-defeating, feeling unworthy. It's you blocking you. We oftentimes project that onto other people by saying, oh, it's you that's, you're blocking my way. You're causing me not to reach my goal. Well, if you can say that, why aren't you doing something to rectify that issue? Why are you still giving people permission in your life to block your way? Think about that. Because you allowing those people to block your growth is you in your way. You have to take some accountability in that. Trust me, you do. You absolutely have to take some accountability. Because if you don't take accountability about the four walls and the people who I just lost my train of thought. Actually put up these walls in your way, you empower those people in the position to block your growth for where you're trying to go. And we can't continue to blame others for not reaching our full potential. I'm seeing people already talking, love it. Yes, of course, especially after college, when you are looking for a life meaning through your work, through your forming, starting a family with love. Yes, absolutely, Naomi. Hello, Torrent. All right, already talking to me. Love it. You can't find who you are laying on your back. Exclamation point. Said it and I mean it. Okay. Hopefully through divine intervention or trial or error, you find your niche and fulfillment and purpose daily. Yes, very true. That's what we're hoping that people will do, right? Your inner me is your only enemy. Ugh. Yes, come on, people, talk to me. Absolutely. Absolutely. See, people don't come into our lives just because. Oftentimes we open the door to these people in our lives and they take up space, make home in our space. And I'm not talking about your physical home, I'm talking about your mental and physical home, this body of yours, this mind of yours. We give them a lease to take up some room in a place they shouldn't be in. Yet we're blaming them for why we're not happy, instead of taking ownership that we are the one contributing to why we're not happy. So it goes back to, who am I? And what is my life purpose? You're never too old to figure out who you are. Because every day you have life, breath, and purpose in life, because we all have a purpose. We were all created with a purpose in mind. I don't know what you all believe in, how you believe, and what drives you to believe what you believe. But I'm going to tell you, as a person who do believe in a higher power, I do understand that my life was created for something more than what I allow people to bring me. Let's think about it. Transparency. If I just rested on what people gave me, the likelihood is I will probably not have much. Then that's not to say some people don't give me great things, but I probably wouldn't have much. See, I have what I have because I'm determined to go get what I want. And nothing and no one is going to stand in the way of me getting that. When I don't want to get it anymore, that is when I have finished that chapter and I'm on to the next. See, the worst thing that we could truly do is doubt ourselves. Oh, you're going to have doubt around you all the time. You're going to get it from someone texting you. You're going to get it on the job. You're going to get it through some friends. You're going to get it in your family. It will be around you. But you have the right to tell people who you are, what your purpose is, and what you are planning to do to make sure that they don't block it. Too many people are holding on to these superficial relationships that don't support the cause of you finding out who you are. How is that? How is it? We're constantly looking for validations from people who don't even validate themselves. You got empty relationships, boyfriends and girlfriends, same-sex relationships, whatever. Relationships, they're empty. Why? Because you don't know who you are. They don't know who they are. We have people on jobs, working jobs like slaves. Slaving on a job with no full purpose to why they monopolized was that word I was looking for, that position. Just doing repetitive work, but not looking to really figure out why you're doing it. Why is that? Why? What is the one thing, those of you who are watching the show or will watch this show because the chats will still be open, what is the one thing you were able to identify that were blocking you from reaching your full potential of becoming who you are? Are you able to point out one thing that you were able to recognize? Because I know what mine was. Keyword was, it was looking for validation from other people. I was looking for people to validate my worth. Oh, listen, I grew up in a very strong home and I knew my worth in my home. But once you leave the comfortable nest of home and go out into this big world called life, and you're looking for people to say, I see you, you bring substance, you have meaning. Oftentimes people are not doing that. What they're doing is crabs in a barrel. They're not looking for you to succeed because they're afraid that if you take a position where they're trying to go, even just feeling comfortable with yourself, then they can't reach that space. So what they're going to do is block you from reaching your space. Oh, don't do that. Oh, someone already done that before. Oh, why would you try that? People are going to not understand why you're doing that. Oh, that's not a great topic, so don't talk about that. Ciao, bye. Really? Is that what we're doing here? Is that what we're doing? Because I'm not doing that. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to lose me so that you can feel comfortable with you. I know who I am. Look at crime in today's society. When you really do a psychological evaluation on the person creating crime, you would really learn that those people had no idea who they really were or what their true potential was in this place called life. What they were doing was walking around blind, trying to figure it out. So as they go through it, they're tearing up everything that comes in their path, anything that blocks their way. They are not trying to figure it out. It takes them to go and lose their freedom. Some, not all, lose their freedom to realize, I better figure this thing out. Women looking for validation from men and laying on their backs to get it. Now lay in hospitals, contracting HIV and all other kind of STDs, trying to figure out who they are and their worth. There are men beating on women to feel empowered and in control and dominancy. So the only way he knows to do that is to be an abuser. But because he believes that that is how he figured out who he is. I'm a man. I rule. Children on playgrounds bullying one another. Let's just take it to college. Just bullying and controlling someone with just hatred because they don't know who they are. So when that happens and you look in your community becomes infected with a lot of people who don't know who they are. That community loses its substance or the possibility of substance because the people who live there don't know who they are. Why? Why? And what are we doing to empower people to find out who they are? And I'm talking to the people who walk in their truth, know who they are, know what their life purpose is, and what they're driven to do. Let's think about it in this way, right? So let's think about some people that we all know and see all the time because that's all they feed us. Let's talk about not long length, but use an example of the Kardashians. What would you say the Kardashians' mission is? What is the mission that they portray to us? Now, there's a number of you, 5 or 6 of you in this chat, and the likelihood is that you all have different ideas of what that family, the Kardashians, I'm not just talking about one of them, I'm talking about the Kardashians. What is it that they're trying to sell to us that tells us who they are? Let's move on to someone else. Let's talk about Ketanji Brown. When she was going to the Supreme Court to get in on the court and make decisions that will impact all of us in some form of capacity. Do you believe that through her way of being scrutinized and interviewed, do you believe she knew who she was when she sat through all that? I'm throwing out some names to you so that you can think about this because we see these people on internet, social medias, and all these different things. Celebrities, entertainers, singers, actors, just people beyond the veil. Who could you name that would say to you, this person knows who they are? And here's another question. Do we ever stop questioning who we are and who we are meant to be? That's a question I would like you to consider. Do we ever stop questioning who we are and who we are meant to be? Rob said the Kardashians' mission is to annoy us by always being in our face. Yes, I would agree. But a little deeper than that, I believe the Kardashians' mission is to just make it to the top by any means necessary. I don't think those Kardashian women know who they are. I don't think they've arrived at who they're meant to really be. But maybe they have. This is just my guess about them arriving. Because maybe their job is, I'm meant to hypnotize you with my body makeover beauty, sell you the dream of this is what you can have, i.e. probably not unless you're willing to sell your soul. Because I am willing, and it sounds very judgmental. Yes, I'm going to admit it. It sounds judgmental, but to evaluate who we are and who we're meant to be, it requires us to do a self-evaluation. And then when we look around our surroundings and the things that entertain us or takes up a lot of mental space, example, those Kardashians, then we start asking the question, okay, well, who are they and who are they meant to be? And what is it that they're trying to sell to me? Because believe it or not, when they're on TV, all these people that are, i.e. the Kardashians, they're telling you, air quote, who they are, what they're meant to be, and what their job is. And their job is to make money by any means necessary. Let's get off those Kardashians. Go to your Instagram, your Facebook. And I've said this in a number of shows when I'm talking about self-inventory, mental wellness, when I'm talking about really walking in your truth and knowing who you are and what you're here to do. It requires you to pay attention to what's happening around you. You cannot say you're not consumed by all what's going on, but yet you're following someone who has 1 million followers or 3 million followers or 9 million followers, but what they put out is negativity. They put out sex. If you're meant to just be a sex person and that's what floats your boat, then maybe the Kardashian is what you should be watching. If you're meant to live a superficial life, and superficial lives, in my opinion, you may agree or not agree, are just for the moment. This moment, I'm happy because I got this. Oh, this makes me so happy. Well, but when I no longer have it, am I still happy? The likelihood is not, because my happiness was contingent on this. We have to, or I would really impose on you to really do the work and figure out what you are created to do and get to doing it. If you have people in your life that are not supporting you in figuring out who you are meant to be, the likelihood is you'll never arrive to where you're supposed to be. You'll continue to be in positions that don't feed your soul, your mind, or your health. You'll constantly be chasing the dream to nowhere because the people that are around you aren't going anywhere. It's about linkage. It's about what is feeding me so I can really unveil who I'm meant to be. You know, there's people that really believe that I'm meant to be who I'm meant to be because this is who I am. Then you say, well, who are you? And they be like, well, this is who I am. They talk about, well, I wear nice jewelry. I drive a nice car. I live in a nice house. My bank account is all right for the moment. All the external things is what they describe of who they are. Instead of stripping all those things off and says, this is who I am and this is where I'm going. I'm telling you guys, and many of you know, and I've already said it, as a counselor, I am oftentimes than I care to be, but that's my purpose, is to help people take off the veil of addiction, take off the veil of mental health and address those issues. That's my job. My job is to create an aha moment on this platform for people to think about it. You know, topics like this are not popular. They're not that popular. You know how they're popular if you associate, if I had Kim Kardashian sitting here with me, oh, my numbers would be through the roof. But would it be through the roof because I'm asking the question that many would not ask Kim? Who are you outside of the materialistic things? My numbers will probably be through the roof because Kim Kardashian is sitting here talking to me. And let's be very clear, I would love to have a conversation with Kim Kardashian because I want to ask the question, Kim, who are you outside of your fame and your fortune? Who are you? Don't tell me you're a mother. I get that. I get that. Don't tell me that you're a daughter. I get that. I get it. Or a sister, or an ex-wife, or a friend. Who are you outside of those things? And I pose that question if I had a chance to talk to Miss Kardashian, Kim, or any of those Kardashians for that matter. But now I ask my viewers and those who will watch this show, who are you? And are you walking in your truth and figuring this thing out? Are you becoming your better self, or you're settling for the self you are? I'm a firm believer that as long as we got life, we have every day we should be figuring out, and I'm going to should for a second, figure out who am I meant to be. The person I was yesterday is not the person I am meant to be today. I'm meant to be a better version of her today. And tomorrow, my goal is to strive to be a better person tomorrow than I am at this moment. You got people raising children having no idea who they are. Those children grow up in an environment not knowing who they are. They meet people on this journey not knowing who they are. They get into intimate relationships having no clue who they are. They take on jobs that have no substance because they don't know who they are. They procreate having no idea who they are. People, let's figure this out. We have a job to do, and that job is to live the best life we can live. And how do we do that? By figuring out who we are and what our life purpose is, and being unapologetic about it. I tell you, I walk into spaces, and I don't walk into a space hoping that people would receive me. I walk into a space owning the space I walk into. Now, don't take that so literal. Let me break it down for you. Because some people would say, oh, well, okay, she thinks it's all about her. Well, guess what? In my head, I do. But in a way that says that when I walk into a space, I have a right to be there. When I'm having a seat at the table, I have a right to be at this table. When someone asks a question and I raise my hand to give my feedback, I have a right to do that. If I disagree with someone who have a different view or opinion, I have the right to do that. In my circle of friends, I have a right to demand my friends show up for me. Oh, people say, well, you should just accept people for who they are. Well, first and foremost, yes, to some degree. But first I have to accept who I am. Because then I can clearly pay attention to if the person who is my friend, associate, whoever you are, showing up, I know what you're bringing to the table. I know what it is you're bringing. And I value it, even if it's just a laughter. I value that. But if you're just taking up space and not open to the thought or the feedback that I would give you that, this ain't working for me. This is not working for me. I'm not feeling this. This ain't giving me what I need. So You know, some people will be like, oh, she thinks it's all about her. He thinks he's God's gift to women. Well, first and foremost, if I don't think that about me, then who will? Who will? Our job is to show up. Our job is to be in positions ready, not getting ready. When you get invited to the table, you should know why you're invited to the table and show up full ready to do what it is you need to do. You can't show up to the table and just try to figure it out then. Maybe when we're young or new to an environment, yes, because you're open to someone feeding you. But you know while you're at the table, the people that's there to feed you are there to feed you, and they have your best interest at heart. So yes, you could sit there not knowing, I'm not too sure, but I'm willing to learn because the people around me are willing to teach me and show me. The people around me are willing to help me become my better self. They're getting me in a position or polishing me up so that I can do what it is I need to do. Come on. It just takes an opportunity. It takes you being honest with yourself and saying, I don't truly know who I am, and I'm not really clear on what my life purpose is, but I'm hungry and thirsty to figure it out. So what I'm going to do is switch up some of these people who are taking up space in my life and get around some people who is actually going to add to it. I'm going to sit in a conversation that's uncomfortable so I can figure out, I am understanding who I am and what my life purpose is. And you know what? The person that's having this conversation with me actually believes in what it is I'm bringing. Therefore, I don't need to question, are they attacking me or they're actually here to help me? Because I've said around a lot of people, honey, when you're trying to help them, they're very defensive. Very defensive. Oh, everything you say to them, they can't take it. Their feelings is hurt. You're judging me. Wait, what? I'll share this and then I want to get to the comment that Naomi posts. You know, it's funny as a counselor, right? So there's many of techniques a counselor could use: motivational interviewing, irrational motive therapy, cognitive behavior therapy. You can use all these kind of techniques to really get into a place of understanding and supporting the person in this conversation or the people you're in a conversation with, right? Motivational interviewing. You're going with the conversation. You're not asking a lot of questions. And even though this is one of my favorite techniques to use, there's times you need to ask the question. And you have to ask the question honestly and raw. Know your audience before you do that, but raw. So help me understand. You're in a relationship 6 years. You have 7 children by 6 women. You're not working. You're living at your parents' home. You had an apartment. You lost that. You went back to your parents. You say you make money, but you're delayed in your child support. You fathered all of these children, but you're in a new relationship and that person doesn't have any children. You say you don't want to have any more children, but yet you are still being intimate and not wearing protection, and that person is not on any birth control. But yet you tell me you know who you are and what your life purpose is. I need you to help me make that make sense, because truth be told, it doesn't. That is a clear indicator that that person I just gave a descriptive of have no idea who they are. I do this every day, 5 days a week. And oftentimes when people find out that I am a life coach, motivational speaker, substance abuse counselor, they're like, can I talk to you? Or they just start talking and I'm listening. And the whole time I'm analyzing the situation. And I oftentimes walk away, they have no idea who they are. So how can I help them have an aha moment so that the seed is planted for them to take the journey to figure out who they are and what their purpose is? Just reading the comments here. So through questioning, that may include self-doubt at times. You can find you want to be okay. Finding inspiration spirituality can bring growth. Absolutely, Naomi, for sure. Why would anyone want a relationship with a person with baggage? Very good question, Patricia. And I'm going to tell you that in the line of work, and there's some people that do the line of work that I do in the chat. Oftentimes people are picking those relationships because they don't know who they are. That's why they take on those relationships. They're looking for validations in those relationships. They have no idea who they are. They never did. A lot of these people come from broken homes. And you can come from a single parent home and still know who you are. So this doesn't have to be that you need to be in a two parent home. No. But if the parents or the guardians or the individuals who are the authoritative people in those homes have no idea who they are, the likelihood is that they're going to create an environment for those young ones in the home to not know who they are. Those young people will go out into the world and get into relationships not knowing who they are, and then take on baggage that they didn't need to take on. They go in trying to fix other people and validate them when they haven't even fixed themselves and have no validation. You see it every day. You see it on television all day, every day. Reality TV. I think a lot of these people said this is just reality TV, and sometimes it's a skit and we just create a narrative so that we can have something to say. Yeah, I get it. But truth be told, I think a lot of what we see is a lot of what people are living. Everything is, for a lot of people, is for the bag, but to get the bag, they're really being themselves. We have to take off the blinders of what we want to see and see things for what it is, or see people for who they are. Naomi, it looked like you retracted your comment, and I'm very curious to what it was that you posted, because you bring very good feedback. So understanding that, I see your question, Patricia, and understanding that, then there comes change. And going back to really quickly, so who's to blame? Everybody plays a part in this. Let me break that down for you. So let's say I'm in a circle of girlfriends and it's 4 of us, right? One of us in that circle is just carefree, honey. Just carefree. I'm just doing me. I sleep with who I want to sleep with because I'm my own woman. No one tells me what to do. And yes, I got 3 kids by 3 different fathers, and none of them pay child support, but I feed my children. I go to the welfare office and I feed them, and I get my check and I get my Section 8. Tell me who you are. Well, what do you mean who I am, friend? It sounds like you judging me. Well, no, I'm not judging. I'm just saying, what do you want? What do you mean I want? See, if I just conform to the conversation in the way that the person's asking me that, and say, girl, you good. That's right. Go get your check. That's right, girl. You got your Section 8. That's right. I'm to blame if I don't instill in my friend things that I know to be true. That welfare is just a stepping tool that's supposed to help you get to where you're going. But if you plan to go nowhere, my girlfriend, and that your job is to live on the system, blame everybody else for your falls and pitfalls, you want to blame all men to be deadbeat men, but the 3 men that you were with, you didn't expect anything greater for them, then who truly is the blame? Well, one, I'm the blame because I didn't tell my friend the truth. And secondly, my friend is to blame because she just wants to settle. Everybody plays a part. Everybody does. Everybody. That's why I keep my friendships small. I cannot have relationships with people I can't be honest with. If I can't be honest with you, even if you don't ask me, and I think some people say, well, listen, I didn't ask you. Well, wait a minute. So I got to wait for you to ask me to be honest with you? We're not friends. I know who I am, friend. I need you to figure out who you are. If you have to tiptoe around the people who say, I love you, you're my friend, you've been there always. If you have to tiptoe around them, then who are you? People who know who they are don't tiptoe around people. They're very comfortable. They're very comfortable. So you being comfortable, viewers, does not mean you're being confrontational. Because some people who are very sensitive can't stomach it. They're like, oh, I can't stomach this. You're being confrontational. You sound like you're judging me. Friend, daughter, son, husband, wife, lover. What are we doing? I'm in your life to help you reach where you're trying to go. If you're not trying to go anywhere, then I need to exit stage right or left because I need to figure out where I'm going. And I cannot be consumed and conform to what you're doing and lose where I'm going in my position. That's just what it is. We got to be okay with being who we are, learning who we are. Yes, they want someone they can fix so that they can be the hero in the relationship. Oftentimes. Wait, yet they don't know who they are though. Who wants a hero that don't know that they're a hero? No, it doesn't work. I just thought this was a befitting conversation because, again, all of us know somebody that truly don't know who they are. And maybe individuals who will come to this show have no idea who they are and what they're meant to do, who they're meant to be. So they just settle for status quo. They just settle for just this because this is all that they know. I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is that everybody that watched this show, if you know who you are, drop a diamond in the comment section. I want you to drop a diamond emoji in the comment section. Drop some fire flames in the comment section. When you know who you are. And listen, don't be ashamed of those who will watch this show if you don't know who you are. Because let's be real. The true thing is we all are becoming. I don't think we ever arrive to who we are. I think that we're always becoming our better version. I'm not a settler. I will always ask questions, surround myself around good people, and I will be in conversations with people who are not good. Because in those conversations, there's something for me to learn. I didn't say be friends, something to learn. We're all becoming. So don't tell me that you've arrived, because then I would tell you you probably need to go back and do another inventory of yourself. You only arrive when you have lived this life and you no longer are here to live it, i.e., you're not in the land of the living. Okay? That's today's conversation. Who am I and what is my life purpose? Let's figure it out, people. And surround yourself around people who believe in you. Get away from them naysayers and get around those people that say, yes, you can, and yes, we will. I am so glad that you guys decided to join me on today's show. Oh, that little thing is a little bit high. Let's bring that a little bit low so that at least people get to see. That's a little bit better. Thank you for joining me in today's show. Listen, I wanted to have a very transparent conversation. This show is not a gossiping show. We will talk about hot topics, but I am always searching on Diamond, who are you meant to be? And we was talking about everything that people were talking about. And I'm like, wait. Diamond, you're going to use your voice for something greater than that. There's enough gossiping podcast channels out there that they didn't need me to add my face to the number. So I decided to talk about things that have substance. And we may reference those people in those kind of conversations, but we're going to talk about being the better version of us, using our voices to empower our steps to a better tomorrow and living our authentic self. I'm glad you were here. I had a great time talking to you. I hope that you will not find it robbery to meet me back here next week at 6 o'clock on Monday for our next conversation. Go to the website at www.voicesgathering.com. Get on the mailing list, people, please. Get on the mailing list. That way you know what shows are happening. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And maybe I should show you what those emojis look like if you don't know what they look like. They look like this. Follow me there. Naomi, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Instagram, I saw you was liking everything. Check out the Instagram comments. I do a daily gym every day. It's some good substance there. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys were here. Now, until next time, I'm going to ask that you be good to one another, as I hope that I was in this conversation to you. No judgment, but all transparency. Until later, people, be well, and I'll see you next week. Mwah. Bye.